Hi, this is the garage clip for Fresh Breath 2. I hope you enjoyed Fresh Breath 1, and here's Fresh Breath 2, how to progress that routine. You've been working with your clients for a while and/or participants, and you want to bring it up a notch. We begin with this routine with lunges. Now, typically we use a standing platform for that, and we have them lunging back. The standing platform provides that nice base of support. It gives them something stable to work from. It brings the floor up a little bit so the incline's not so high when they're pressing off. However, now that person is advanced, or they're progressing towards an advanced level. So how do we up it? How do we challenge that stability? You ready?
I'm ready.
Carol's ready. She's been working, you saw her in Fresh Breath 1. She's now pumped up, ready for Fresh Breath 2. All right, she's standing on the Bosu. I'm gonna use my hands. So if you're bringing this into your class, I don't recommend a whole class of Bosus and GTSs to start off with. Start one-on-one. You can have my hands. She does her leg circles. You look like a ballerina. You look fantastic. Even in the pink.
I am.
It's beautiful. You need a tutu. Tutu.
Do this?
That would be, well, she's up. See, she's increased her levers. She's progressing herself. Now that you have that leg nice and challenged, because you've been standing on the left leg for a long time, you can now bring on that right leg back on the glide board, AKA your right or your left. And from here, you just have them lunge and come back in. You work towards letting them do this exercise independently. If you can't be there to support them, you can always have them use a chair that happens to be nearby, but you can also have them use a dowel to support themselves in the beginning, just give them something to hold on to, or you can do this as a partner if you're partnering up and come back in. And you can step off. If you haven't seen the rest of our series here in the clubhouse, we have high voltage, and that shows you how to pair up and do a GTS workout pairing up. Who knows, maybe you'll see a high voltage with Pilates. That'd be kind of cool. Uh-oh, I'm giving information away. That's okay. All right, so from here, now the Bosu's completely dirty. We can wipe it off. It's okay, they're gonna shower no matter what. You attach that arm cable on, and where am I going with this? Well, do you remember when the section where you went and you were lying on your belly and you're pulling those arms straight down and you're bringing your arms out to the side like a T? You're on your belly typically for that. Well, how do we progress it? Or maybe they're complaining, my hands keep hitting the floor. Well, I will give Carol the honors of the handles. Dun, 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 dun. You're gonna knuckle down still, always anchoring down. She'll position herself so that her chest is on the Bosu. You don't have to use a Bosu, you can use a box. You can use anything that elevates someone up. I do not recommend a ball. I mean, the ball's a little too unstable, unless you have really good liability. All right, so anyhow, you're gonna pull straight back, and then you come up. So now she's elevated. You're giving them a little bit more range of motion. You can arms come out to a T. Beautiful, she looks fantastic. All right, so what do we do here? How do we bring it up again? I'm gonna have her knuckle down. She might need to put her hands on the Bosu because we're gonna position her so that her pelvis is more on the Bosu. Now she's gonna probably wiggle wobble a little bit, find that position. Where can I balance that I can lift my legs up as I simultaneously pull back? If you can't see this on camera, she's definitely trying to find her balance point as she does this. You'll start to see the legs kind of go into a tonus-like position, holding itself. What you work towards is saying, great job, Carol, let's try to get those legs reaching long. And you can add in things like clicking the heels, bringing the heels together, then extending them out as her arms come back. You can add in those little elements that tweak the movement just a little bit so that concentration factor is brought in and that mind-body connection gets enhanced. All right, so now that we have covered how to up the lunges with the Bosu, we've used the Bosu for prone work when she's pulling her arms straight back for shoulder extension and more horizontal adduction, like our arms out to a T. Now, I'm gonna have her anchor down and step off for 1 second. Keep hold of those handles. We discussed this earlier. Now, something I'm gonna tell you is when you start to bring in elements like the Bosu or you're bringing something that's more challenging, my recommendation is you start with someone one-on-one. If you're in a class setting, maybe you might tell that advanced participant, hey, I know how to up the ante. Maybe you might go for a private session. Maybe you just spend a little extra time with them during the class or potentially after the class or before the class to show them how to do such movements as the lunges with the Bosu, as lying on their belly, so that they can independently start to incorporate that in their routine. And you know as an instructor that they're safe to do so. I tell you this now because there's an exercise that you can do kneeling on the Bosu, but you have to ensure that your participant is strong enough and stable enough, and you are secure with that person and confident enough that they can do this exercise. Now that I've given every disclaimer out there, I will show you what you can do. I'm gonna let you let go of one handle. Carol's gonna knuckle down, and she's also gonna anchor herself a little bit on the Bosu, and she's gonna find a position giving herself enough base of support with her shins, and she can stay low kneeling, opening up wide, again, to give herself base of support. And in this routine, we did an overhead press where we bent the elbow, went up, and then came down. You can do biceps here like we showed earlier in the routine. You can also do a triceps. Now this is a nice way where you say, okay, can they handle that extra lever? Can they handle that? Because then can I bring it into that backhand maneuver where they came out? Maybe if they're on their knees on a stable surface, that they can go right into that long lever where they're doing more horizontal adduction and abduction. But however, maybe when they come to an unstable surface, you want to shorten those levers first. All right, how do I up the ante here? I can bring her up so she's high kneeling. So things that you would do still when you're on the glide board, you start them off low to high. Maybe you add a tweak such as this. You are doing fantastic. And maybe when you're starting to bring them up to high kneeling, you might just put that support wedge pillow here so that you're gradually bringing their base of support off. They can always come back and take a seat down so they feel safe and secure. Confidence and success is the key to any program. All right, so now you're going to anchor down for me. You're going to step back off. Beautiful. I'm going to remove the Bosu. And one more thing you can do in this side kneeling position is what we call like more of a split kneeling position. So you're going to anchor down. The knee closest to the tower is going to bend, and the leg closest toward the base is going to extend, and she can come up into that high kneeling position and add in that overhead press. If she wants to add into that backhand or that bicep or tricep, she can. I will tell you that sometimes this position may feel easier for someone. Why would that feel easier? Well, if you look at their base of support, it's wider. Yes, their center of gravity's up, but they have a bigger base of support. And for some people, this may be a better option than the kneeling position. And I'm just going to tell you, remember when someone's kneeling, wide to narrow. Maybe you go wide, split kneeling, then narrow. Those might be the progressions for that individual. As always, within your group class or Pilates, you want to ensure that you're looking at every participant and working at their fitness level, because that's the hope of Gravity Pilates, that no matter what the exercise is, we can always adjust that GTS so we set that person up for success. I hope these tips helped you progress your workout, and have a great day.